Facebook has been slowly killing the independent news industry, right? So they took a lot of heat, you know, it's Facebook and Russia's fault that Trump won, right? That's, of course, we know that narrative. And the mainstream corporate media and the DNC refused to take responsibility for the fact that they jammed down Hillary, corporate, pro-war, pro-banking Clinton down all of our throats. And then we're shocked when people didn't want to vote for her. She ran an awful campaign, but yet it's you know, Russia bought Facebook ads. That's why. And it's just, it's unbelievable. And these media giants like Facebook and Google have really been starting to toe the deep state line. And this article that I got out of the antimedia.org, it came out February 3rd, is pretty intriguing in how it goes through sort of the timeline, starting with what Mark Zuckerberg said in early 2016 was that it was pretty crazy that you know, fake news circulating on Facebook could have possibly influenced the election. Mark Zuckerberg said in November of 2016, that's pretty crazy. Fake news made up a small amount of the total content that Facebook's algorithm at the time delivered content to nearly 2 billion users. So voters made decisions based on their lived experience, Zuckerberg said. We really believe in people. You don't generally go wrong when you trust that people understand what they care about and you build systems that reflect that. Right? This is November of 2016. He even said, we've studied this a lot. I really care about it, Zuckerberg said. All the research that we have suggests that this isn't a problem. We've really had a hard time really hard time getting that out. Basically saying it wasn't hate speech or fake news that Facebook let happen that got people to vote. After that happened, I don't know if you remember, Obama then had kind of an attack on Facebook. He said in a press conference in Germany, if we are not serious about facts and what's true and what's not, if we can't discriminate between serious arguments and propaganda, then we have problems, which I would agree with, which is why I don't trust the mainstream media because Boeing buys ad time on, you know, MSNBC. And then you're telling me I'm supposed to believe Chris Matthews and Rachel Maddow. Here's an interesting part of the article. It should be noted that none of this discourse was present when the administration of George W. Bush sold the American and international public lies about Iraq's non-existent weapons of mass destruction, or Barack Obama's debunked claims that Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi's forces were committing mass rape and murder on his own people. These lies were only able to take root through the conformity of the corporate media, who was in the business of spreading fake news here. Apparently, 2 days later, Zuckerberg announced that Facebook is now developing tools to fight fake news. Wow. See, this is the thing. They talk about we can't have fake news and we got to get facts, and it's like, oh, okay, great. But then, where was any of this news holding Obama accountable for his 26,000 plus bombs that he dropped in 2016, or putting Chelsea Manning behind bars, or any of that? When was he held accountable? You know, George Bush was kind of held accountable, but he also got away with creating an illegal war and killing over 1 million plus people. And, you know, not Obama nor Bush were ever held accountable for the banking crisis and bailing them out. They both bailed them out. They both helped create millions of foreclosures. Where's the fake? Where was it? Here's what Chris Hedges wrote in TruthDig. In the name of combating Russia-inspired fake news, Google, Facebook, Twitter, and the New York Times, the Washington Post, BuzzFeed, Agency France Press, and CNN in April imposed algorithms or filters overseen by evaluators that hunt for keywords such as U.S. military, inequity, and socialism, along with personal names such as Julian Assange, Laura Patris, the filmmaker, Ben Gomes, Google's vice president for search engineering, says Google has amassed some 10,000 evaluations to determine the quality and veracity of websites. Internet users doing searches on Google since the algorithm were put in place are diverted from sites such as TruthDig and directed to mainstream publications such as the New York Times. The news organization and corporations that are imposing the censorship have strong links to the Democratic Party. They are cheerleaders for American imperial projects and global capitalism because they are struggling in the new media environment for profitability. They have an economic incentive to be part of a witch hunt. See that? Google's doing it to shows like this. They don't want you guys watching this. They want you to watch clips of Jimmy Fallon on YouTube. Cat videos or, clips of Brian Williams talking about the beauty of rockets going to blow people up. Consider here at Mind Unleashed, that's the news that does the alternate media.org, we have over 8 million followers on Facebook, and at the Anti-Media we have over 2 million followers. It doesn't take a genius to calculate that this is a significant loss of revenue we're currently experiencing, with Facebook's new algorithm almost cutting our content of users' homepages completely. I've talked about being demonetized, Kyle Kalinske, Jimmy Dore, and they're being demonetized on Facebook. See how that works? It was at first corporate gatekeepers like The Guardian who were begging for donations in the age of Trump as they had lost all credibility in keeping up with the needs and interests of the people. Now, we are all asking for donations on Facebook's algorithms are cutting off close to 100% of our Facebook audiences. A combined 10 million people between their two Facebook pages, and they're struggling to get money? That makes zero sense. This has nothing to do with fake news. I have written over 400 articles online, and close to 100% of my sources are from mainstream outlets like Reuters, the New York Times, The Guardian, the BBC, the Washington Post, and others. Why should we be censored for referencing the very news outlets that people like Obama want us to trust in the first place? We are being censored because we look for the paragraphs in those reports which need highlighting, or the hidden reports that go overlooked, and we broadcast it to millions of people on a daily basis. Whether you like it or not, Facebook is killing an entire industry. Facebook is a business. They created billions of dollars of wealth in part by allowing businesses to capitalize on its ability to spread creative content. It makes no sense at all that Facebook has decided one type of business is no longer viable in its business structure. Even if Facebook is a private company, they can do whatever the hell it likes. And make no mistake, this is just the beginning. Just recently, reports began circulating that Facebook will also stifle any content that promotes Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as well. He ends the article by saying it's time to sue Facebook. That's what we should do. Try to circumvent them. Try to get our information out on other platforms. And also take legal action because they're coming after all of us. If I'm getting hit with my little 7,500 subscribers, you better believe these shows with hundreds of thousands and millions of viewers and hits and likes and watches and all that stuff, they're losing significant income. And it's by design. Because the corporate state, the military state, they don't want us talking about what's really going on. They want to keep you all distracted and dumb and, oh, Russia, Russia, Russia. That's what they want to happen. We can investigate Russia and investigate Yemen and investigate the DNC fraud, and we could do all those things at the same time. It's possible to have investigations that are concurrent. Believe me, every DA's office is doing that. You can do it. So thanks for watching the show and supporting independent media. And vote with your dollars. Don't give the big corporate media, the cable companies, the satellite companies, don't give them your money. Cut the cord and follow shows like this.